Hey guys, some of you have been asking how I do my makeup, and despite what my shirt says, today is the day that I'm making a hopefully quick tutorial of how I do this everyday look. Kind of everyday, I mean, let's be honest. A lot of you have seen me in my everyday look. Uh, Hopefully it's quick. I have learned that I'm terrible at editing. I talk to the camera like we're hanging out in real life. Those of us that hang out know it's like hours of talking, and clearly quarantine is getting to me, and I just miss you guys, and I hope that you have fun doing this. So I have already cleansed my face. I have put on my serums and my moisturizer and sunscreen, and now I am going to just hop in and do this. I like to do my moisturizer and stuff, give it some time to set in, so that when I do my foundation, it doesn't cake. So that's why I start with the eyebrows. This is the NYX Cake Powder. This is in shade Blonde. I really don't even know if this is the right shade for me anymore. I feel like every time I make it, I go to the hair salon, I just do different things now. So maybe this isn't the right color for me. Maybe we'll find out. But that's what we're using. So I'm going in with this e.l.f. brush. This is just, it says it's an eyeshadow brush, but I have literally no idea what you would use. Maybe like a smudger. I like using this for my brows because it is short and stubby and it has a little curve. And it's just stiff enough to like get into my brow, but it's not harsh enough. Like it's not so stiff that it'll make it harsh. So I go in with a lighter shade, and I'm really hitting pan here, but I go in with a lighter shade and just dip my brush in and tap it off. Never go straight from pan to your face. Always tap it off. You can add it more. And I'm gonna start at the bottom of my brow and just deposit in color. And I never start like at the very inside of my brow. I like to kind of work my way over there. Because again, I want it to look natural. I don't like the harsh brow look on myself. And I focus a lot of my color on the bottom and then bring up what's left over to the top. And I just follow the shape of my natural arch. So then when I get to about here, then I'll take the two colors, the lighter one and the darker one, tap it off. And then when I get to like the arch, just fill it in. And there's where I'm stopping for this side with this brush. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. This eyebrow gives me like the hardest time. And I've noticed the older that I get, the more thin my eyebrows are getting. So we'll see. So I start at the bottom again, and you can see this one's a lot balder, like on the inside. So I start here on the bottom. And I always go from the bottom of my brow. I never start at the top. I don't like the harsh look for myself, the bold brow, which is funny because whenever I do my brows first with like nothing else on my face, I'm like, I look wackadoodle, like real wild. Okay, so now I'm gonna start bringing it up here again, but I never go to the top with like just straight powder. Like I always start on the bottom with all the powder and then bring it up. Then again, I bring it up to the arch, just following the natural. I like using powder. I don't really like, I've tried pomades and pencils. I just don't like how they feel. And I feel like they look a little bit too drawn on for my personal preference. Okay. So now I'm taking just an angled eyeliner brush, just any old angled eyeliner brush. And now I'm going to dip it into the wax that comes with this. to do my tails. And now I'm dipping it in the darker shade in here. Again, tapping it off. And for the tail part, I just follow, I start at the arch and do kind of like little short strokes to imitate the natural hair. It's kind of hard doing it on camera because like I'm looking in a mirror down here, but I'm trying to make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. And it like shows up so differently, and I apologize. I have a natural light here. I have lights behind me. I'm trying to like find the best way. Shout out to all you guys that do this way all the time. It's fun, but it's a learning curve. Okay, so now this eyebrow, which always gives me a hard time. Good, I'm just following the natural shape of my eyebrow, and like my tails of my eyebrows are starting to get really thin, at least I think. And I know some people like to like shave off the tail of their eyebrows and make their own shape. So you can do that, just try to find the best flow. Okay, so you can see they're done. Like I said, they look wild because there's nothing else on my face. So then I'm just taking a spoolie and I'm gonna brush it up just to kind of distribute the color a little bit better. Remember how I said like I only do it at the bottom just to make sure that I really blended it well. And then, oh hey, hi. Since I used the wax part of the eyebrow palette to hold down the baby hairs, sometimes like the eyebrow can get a little bit shiny. So I just like to gently touch like the ends where I put the wax, so it's not like crazy shiny. It's so funny too, the camera like picks up all these like specks that I never even knew were there, like all these little specks in my hair. Like I'm looking at 2 mirrors in front of me, I didn't see them, but this camera told me that I had them. So now I'm going in with just this old Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade like light as can be. Oh, 10, fair. There's one's lighter, but it's from my winter shade, and I'm just using this as a primer for my eyeshadow. I am just gonna put a couple dabs on my eyelids, and I get a little red between here too, and sometimes it just helps with my brows. I'm gonna check out all the discoloration from the zits that I picked this week. This is a new one. I'm not putting concealer on this one because it's still a little bit scabbed over, and I don't want it to get too crusty. So then I'm gonna take this e.l.f. fluffy concealer brush and blend them in. I've tried different primers and sometimes they're just too thick, or I just don't feel like they really do that great of a job. Different eyeshadow primers, I know some people swear by them, but like I think that the concealer does just as fine a job for like a third of the price. And this is just to kind of smooth out everything on your eyelids and give the eyeshadow something to grab onto. And I don't know if you can see, but like I have a lot of freckles on my eyelids in my face. I do this too with a concealer. Try to make everything look blended whenever I do my eyeshadow. And like I could have done a better job trying to cover my freckles. I know that that's not going to happen, and I'm okay with that. I know that my eyeshadow might look a little bit patchy, but that's okay. I know it's my freckles. I also don't carve out my eyebrows with concealer. I know some people do that. I just don't like that look for myself, so I just bring up the concealer as close as I can to my eyebrows without messing up my eyebrows. Now I'm going to go in with the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I'm going to grab a neutral shade to my skin tone. And I'm just going to pack this on to my lid. So I'm going in with Tempera. And I'm just going to put this over my lid to help set the concealer so that the other eyeshadows don't crease in it. And I've also been liking just kind of using this as like a base. You'll see. But so I'm just going in with a fluffy brush, any old fluffy brush. And there's a lot of product on there. Tap it off. Do not put that straight on your face, I swear. Okay, so then just laying it all over the lid. I've noticed like the older I'm getting, the more wrinkles I'm having on my eyelids. And I've also started getting little milias on my eyelids. I don't know. Do you guys get that? I normally get them taken off with a dermatologist, but it's closed. So we're dealing with it and trying not to pick it off ourselves. So that has kind of just created like a blank canvas. And honestly, that's how I look at makeup, like a canvas. It's something to be creative with. It's something that's fun. I really do it more so for myself than for other people. So this has just kind of created a blank slate. And you can see that, maybe you can't see on camera. However, there are little lines where this brush didn't do a good job blending into the concealer. So I'm just taking this flat shader concealer brush and just gently like patting it in. And this is a clean concealer brush. I don't ever use flat concealer brushes or flat foundation brushes. I just don't like the finished look that it gives my skin. So this is clean. Next, I am going to take this Morphe Fluffy brush. It is the Morphe M433. And this is like the perfect fluffiness for me and for my crease. So for those of you who don't know, the crease is this part of your eye. And you use like a transition shade. So I'm coming in with Burnt Orange. And I'm coming in with this fluffy brush so that it doesn't look as harsh. That's kind of the key, is finding like the best brushes that work for you and for the pressure that you do with your hands. So tapped it into Burnt Orange, tap it off, and just go in with a light hand right on the crease and start on the outside and do like little circle motions in a windshield wiper motion. You know what I'm talking about. I start by concentrating all of the color on the outside. I don't ever like put my brush here and then try to go back and forth. Because I've noticed for myself, whenever I put color, so much color, like on the middle or the inner corner of my eyelid, it just brings my whole eye look down for myself. It makes my eyes look smaller. And I feel like it brings out like the bags under my eyes. And that's not the look that I'm going for today. So I also like to go back and I do both eye at the same time because we're creating a layered look. So you don't want to do one eye and then the other eye not be even. I found that whenever I just do each step on each side, that just ensures a better blended layered look. So I'm going to go on this side and do the same thing. I'm just taking Burnt Orange and in my crease. So I start out here at the outside. I can feel my eye bone, and I start here, and you can kind of feel like the crease, like you push the brush in there a little bit. Don't like dig, don't get crazy. But you push it in there, and then since this is a fluffy brush, this is why I like it, it takes the color and also brings it up a little bit. So not all of the color is concentrated in the crease. Kind of just like distributes it better. And I am bringing it in here. And then with each step, I just go back and look and make sure that they look pretty even. Like I said, there's a natural light off here to my right. So it never looks even. And maybe it never looks even in real life. If it doesn't look even in real life, friends in real life, you need to tell me. Be like, Claire, the one eye looks whack. We're going to the bathroom. I got to fix it. Okay. Whatever. But for today, for now, it's fine. I keep this mirror, I keep a small mirror in front of me. I know a lot of people do that, and then keep a bigger mirror behind. I do that because my eyes are like, not the greatest. And I have a hard time seeing like far away what I'm doing. But I also, like, sometimes when you're too close to what you're doing and then you look far away, you're like, what happened? What happened? Okay, so we're done with this brush for now. Now we're gonna go in with this, another Morphe brush that actually doesn't have a number, but I know it's a crease brush. That's what it says on its website. It's a crease brush, but it is a little bit like tapered and it's stiffer. It's stiffer than the brush that I used before. I don't like using this just on my crease if I am like going for a really blended look. Like if I'm doing a cut crease, yeah, not for this. So I'm gonna go in with Sienna. And just tap it in, get some color in there, and tap that color off. Do not go in there, just straight from the pan. Okay, so now I am going into my crease a little bit, and then I'm gonna bring it down into the outer V. So this is the V, the outer V of your eye. A lot of my looks, I do that. Again, like I said, I like doing my makeup so it makes my eyes look bigger and not smaller. So I am taking this and I'm putting it in the crease and then dragging the rest down to the V part and then blending it in. And honestly, the whole key to eyeshadow is just blending. You really can't blend enough. I remember when I first started, well, that's a lie. Sometimes you can blend too much, but I was like, I'm blending away all my work. And sometimes you do that. Like everything in life, it's important to know just when to put it down and walk away. So like for now, that looks okay. I'm gonna go over and do the same thing on the other side. Again, dipping into the sienna color, tapping it off and going back into the crease, starting in the crease, and then bringing it down to the V part and like filling it in. And I bring it to like in this far on my eyelid, so like the outer half. I like to keep the brightness from the color that we used to set the concealer. I just like to keep that on my lid. I like the brightness of it. You can go in with a glitter. Sometimes I do that, or a shimmer or a lighter color. I haven't been into glitters lately. I don't know what's going on. So continuing to blend. So now I'm gonna look, and it looks okay. I'm not loving it, but it's not gonna look good when we're like in the layered process. That happens all the time when I'm doing it. I think it looks terrible. You gotta wait till you do the eyeliner and the mascara. If you're gonna throw on lashes, you gotta wait till the end. Okay. But it is important to look far away and look up close just to make sure it's happening. All right, this is good for this layer. So now I'm going to take some Cypress Umber and Mulberry and mix them together and do the outer corner just to add a little bit more dimension to the look. And I'm taking a smudge brush. I have no idea what this is called, and I wish that I did because I've been looking for it, but it's like short enough and stiff enough, but also fluffy for blending, and it doesn't deposit the color too heavy. This brush is like embarrassingly old, and I got it in an old Ipsy, and I've never been able to find out what it's called. So anyway, just a little bit in the Cypress Umber and a little bit in the Mulberry and tap it off. Now I'm gonna go on the outer corner of my V, and sometimes I'll like trace it. Maybe I'll do that for this. I'll trace the outer corner of the V. And there's that. And then just blend it in. And like I said, like, you gotta blend a lot. And it's sometimes frustrating for me because I have all these freckles and it doesn't look like my stuff is blended. It's just the freckles poking through, always poking through. But when I use a heavier concealer or a heavier primer, it cakes. So I think just embrace it. It's fine. I'm fine with it. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. A little bit into Cypress Umber and Mulberry. Tap it off. Coming out here to the outer corner. There. And there. And now we blend. See, it looks harsh. Some people like the harsh look of the shadows. I don't personally for myself. So I just blend it in. And sometimes you put the color on and you're like, oh, what have I done? It's okay. You can blend it away. Like this is a little dark for me, but we're gonna fix it. It's fine. And it's just makeup. So if it doesn't work, take it off. It's so funny because my right eye is so bad. Like when I shut my left eye to do my right, I can barely see what's happening. So again, if you see me out and I'm not even, pull me aside, be like, Claire, let me help you, buddy. Friends helping friends. And also bring it out here a little bit more because my eyes are hooded, and like, again, the older I get, like the shape just changes. Changes are happening. I'm not even that old. I'm 27. So they're changing. I don't know. But just go with the shape of your eye. And my eyes are a little bit hooded. I know that they're never going to look exactly the same. And I'm okay with that. But right now, they're really not the same. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm not happy about. So I'm going to look and see. I think it just needs blended a little bit more truly. And I also think I have a big freckle right here and it never blends. I think that's what I'm not loving. Okay, so I'm gonna come back in with the Morphe brush, the original brush that I used with the orange soda, and I'm gonna blend. I think that this is maybe just a little bit too harsh for me. I think I went a little bit too heavy-handed. I'm not putting anything on this. I'm just using what I have from before to blend. Yeah, it's like this. My left eye is kind of more hooded than the right one. So I sometimes have to like change the shape of my shadow. But the general idea is just to keep a V. I like to keep the inner corner light for this look. This is an everyday look. This is not an everyday look for me. I do this whenever I need to feel like a human. Everyday look for me right now in quarantine and everyday is no makeup, a hoodie, yoga pants, and if we're lucky, a bra. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna throw on some eyeliner and mascara and see what happens. If I'm not happy, I'll try to fix it. If not, I'll live. I'm not super happy again with this. It's creasing a little bit. And again, I don't think that anyone would even notice, but I'm doing this for myself and I'll notice. So whatever. Now I'm going to go in with my Almay liquid liner. I like this for me. I am a quadriplegic, as some of you know, so the long wand on the end is great. I've tried a lot of different liquid eyeliners, a lot of gel eyeliners, and like I just haven't loved any of them. I've spent a stupid amount of money on makeup and eyeliners, and they all just are kind of like hard. I found that this one's the best one, or they dry out super fast. That's what I don't like. I hate spending like $30 on eyeliner and it dries out so fast. Not this. This is like $7 and I love it. Okay, so it has like the felt tip, and sometimes it gets a little bit too wet. So I get off all the extraness on the bottle because again, if you go straight in, you are gonna get a mess. So I look down and I start in the center of my eyelid just in case there is a little bit too much. It's okay for the center to be a little thicker. And I always look down and then look up because whenever you're looking down, you're like, yes, like this looks great. And then you look up and it's a massive line. However, I'm not doing a wing. I haven't really been doing a wing or anything lately. I've just been pushing the eyeliner into my lash line. And I think that's a good way to think of doing this until I get to here. Then I look up, and I like this too because like the tip, I use like the wide part, and then whenever I get to the inner corner, I take the tip and literally shove it in my eyeball. Because I don't want it to be too thick. I kind of just want it to be like natural and make my lashes look longer. Ooh, see, it's a little thick there. I'll try to fix it. And honestly, I could probably leave that, but I think I'm just gonna try to touch it up. We'll see. Famous last words. Sometimes it's best just to leave things, but I think I'm gonna try to touch it up. And honestly, it probably doesn't even matter because my mascara will cover it, but it's fine. Okay. So now I am coming in with the Superhero Mascara by It Cosmetics. I really like this. But sometimes whenever you come in with like a new mascara, it is a little bit too wet. And I use this. I'll use this as my first coat. And I don't know, I can't remember how I did my accent before, or I can't remember how I did my mascara before, but now I like lean my arm. I'm not in the best position for this. I lean my arm on a on the drawer that's on my desk, and I just wiggle like my face and wiggle the wand a little bit. As some of you know, I don't have finger function, and so everything is done with tenodesis. So I kind of find ways to like compromise. So, and I don't like to wear lashes. My eyes are just sensitive. I try to get my mascara like pretty good. So I'm not just like putting a coat on. I am shutting my eye and shaking the wand and getting it everywhere in the process, which is fine. We'll fix it later. It's good for a first coat. And like when the mascara is wet, you have to be careful that it doesn't clump. Because it will. Okay. So now I'm going to go in and do a second layer with Tardiest by Tarte. I really like this mascara. It's getting old. But it's perfect for the second coat. So then I come in with a second coat, usually an older one because it's a little bit drier. And I brush back through what I did with the first one. And it'll be tacky. So that's why I do both with the same one. I don't do two mascaras at once, so that the one side can get a little bit tacky and make it a little bit easier to give them a lift. And so what I do is I focus mostly on the ends of my lashes. I made a big mess, you can't see. But I focus on the ends of my lashes, and then when I get to the top of my lash, I shut it and kind of like hold it there, almost like a curling, a lash curler. I don't use a lash curler. So many of my friends do and like swear by it, but I just can't get it to work. So you can use this one to kind of brush out the old clumps. This isn't necessary at all. None of this is necessary. You do whatever you want to do. This is fun for you. Okay, so now I'm just gonna come in and clean up the mess that I made with the mascara. This is just a cotton pad and toner that I used to kind of wipe down my face a little bit. And I'm also going to be wiping away any of the excess fallout from the eyeshadow, just so it doesn't get like trapped under my foundation when I do that. But I don't like to like use the wet part of the cotton pad on my under eye. I like just use the dry to brush it away. I'm going to leave all of the mascara on my eyelid for now. I'm gonna let it dry so that it makes it easier to wipe it off at the end. So now I'm going to go in with, I honestly don't even know why I do this. My skin has just been like whack lately, like really weird. Going through a lot of trial and error to figure out what's going on, but it's just been really like dry, and my makeup has been sitting in my lines more, and like am I getting older, or like what's happening here? So I'm trying this primer again, Maybelline. I use a lot of Maybelline Master Prime Primer Base Hydrating. It's like I said, my face has just been dry and weird. I don't know if this actually does anything. All the other primers that I've tried, I don't notice a huge difference, but whatever. I'll try it. Why not, right? Make sure I hydrate the scabs from my zits. I'm such a picker. It's so bad. I've been trying really hard not to. Just like satisfying. And I make sure I get under my eyes. I'm just kind of tapping this in here. I'm not trying not to like drag on my skin too much. I probably should have done this when I did all my other moisturizer to give it a second to set in, but we didn't, so we're doing it now. I am going to go in with Maybelline Fit Me, shocker, Maybelline Fit Me foundation. This is in shade 120 Classic Ivory. This is the dewy. This is with sunscreen. And I am going to put it on and see what happens if it matches me. Because I'm kind of in between. So I have 120 and 130. I might mix them. I might see, might not. I don't know. We'll see. I like, again, using the dewy and the hydrating just because my skin has been weird. But be careful if you are using a foundation with sunscreen in it when you're getting like pictures done, because the flash will kind of give you a white cast. But I'm not taking a picture, so ball out. Now I'm going to put it on my hand. And then there's a little bit extra, and I'm just going to put it from the bottle on my face just so I don't get the lid all nasty. And then put a little bit on my neck too, just to, so it's a smooth transition. Hopefully, we'll see. Sometimes I like do my foundation or do my makeup and I'm like, wow, looks pretty good today, buddy. Like you did good. Good lighting, good job, strong hand. And you get in a different lighting and you're like, I shouldn't have left the house. Who let me leave like this? Okay, so now I'm going in with this Morphe M439 buffer, foundation buffer. I really like this. This is my second one. I did not love the first one, and I'm just pressing it into my skin, the foundation. I'm not like dragging. I'm pressing it in. So that it kind of is like absorbed, and it's so funny. You can see how different the lighting is because it looks so caked on this side. Maybe it is. It looks very full coverage on that side, but on this side, like, no. But I do kind of like this foundation. It is buildable. And I'm just bringing it into my hairline a little bit. I'm not taking like all of the foundation and dragging it to my hairline. I'm taking what's left on the brush and just kind of pressing it into my hairline just so it's all blended. And again, I'm looking at the mirror right in front of me, and then I'll look at the mirror behind. And now I'll take this, bring it down to my double chins. Gotta get the girls covered. Kind of on your ear if you need to. Don't forget to wash this off at night. There have been times where like I really wash my face and I'm like, oh, good. Forgot about our neck. Okay, so I think I'm done with that. I'm not gonna use the other shade. I think it looks okay. Only time will tell. Only lighting in the real world will tell when I already look like a fool out there. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with, again, Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This is in shade 15 Light. And again, it's moisturizing. I like this. I'm just taking it under my eyes. I'm just doing 2 little lines like this. I'm not gonna do a heavy highlight under my eye. I don't know, like my eyes have just been creasing a lot. And I just haven't been into like the heavy highlight look under my eyes for myself. Again, right here because I get red, and then just a little bit on the bridge of my nose. And anywhere else you think might need brightened up a little bit. So here on my chin. I do have this zit. I'm not going to put concealer on it to try to even hide it, because I know whenever I put concealer over it, it'll just make it crusty and nasty and like draw more attention to it. And like, I don't need that kind of negativity in my life right now. So I'm just taking this and concentrating a lot. I'm pressing this into my skin. I'm not dragging, and just pressing it in and focusing a lot like where I have darkness, and then I bring it out here a little bit to my cheekbone some. Not a lot. I'm not putting a lot of product out there because I have been creasing a lot out there, like in my little crow's lines. Crow's feet? Crow's lines. And I don't know. I just sometimes feel like more makeup out there makes it look worse. For me, at least. But I do like to brighten up my under eye. And then I drag it down here. I get really red and like the creases of my nose. I think a lot of people might. And I'm not putting more product there. Like you'll notice I didn't use the wand and put product there because, again, it'll just cake in. So I just take what's left over on the brush and drag it down there. And then just blend the bridge of my nose up into like the T of my face. And then I did a little there, which I'll probably regret later. A little out here. Okay. So now I am going to take a beauty sponge, a Morphe beauty sponge. It's really lightly damp. I have also been going in just dry and just kind of smoothing everything out. I notice whenever I go in, when the sponge is moist, it takes away the coverage of my foundation and it makes me look a little splotchy. But I do like to come in with this just to kind of smooth everything out. I think it's hard to tell, but you can see some brush lines from the brushes. So I'm just going to go and gently tap over my face. I'm not going to push too hard because I don't want to take off the foundation from anywhere. I just want to kind of smooth it out and like soak up any extra product that might sit in fine lines, because I don't set my face with like a powder because my face is so dry. It just makes it look really cakey and dry and gross. So now I am going to do a little bit of bronzer. This is just the Sephora brand in the shade Los Cabos. And it's not a glitter. I don't like doing glitter for my bronzer. I just kind of like having like the matte look. Just to make it look a little bit more natural. I'm using this angled fluffy brush from BH Cosmetics, and it is pretty fluffy. It's fluffier than like normal contour brushes. I don't like how stiff the contour brushes are because it makes it a little bit harder to blend. It just doesn't look as natural to me. So I'm swirling around. I'm kind of swirling a lot, whatever, man. Swirl, swirl, swirl. And I'll tap it off. Always tap it off. And I'm going to squeeze. So since it is fluffy, I'm going to squeeze this a little bit. Not a lot, but just like this much. And then I go from, let's see, I go from the top of my ear, this part, down to the corner of my lip. So I'm going to follow this line. And if you do this with a brush, you can feel where your cheekbone is. A lot of people also fish face and do it. I've just kind of gone based off of my face. That's what I do. So just again, with a light hand, and I'm tapping it. I'm not like brushing back and forth, tapping. So you can see it's showing up. It shows up a lot more obviously in real life and not as much on the camera, which I'm glad, because that means the camera picks up weird things. So if it's picking up a lot of this contour, I'm not gonna like it in real life. So I'm putting it on, and then I'm taking it up my temples and blending it into my hairline. And I'm not putting more product on. So then I'm gonna take it and kind of blend it a little bit here, but I'm not squeezing the brush again. This is just to blend it. And then I'm gonna take out it and bring it down again to my double chins and blend it in. It's really all about blending. Careful not to get like on your chin, the 5 o'clock shadow. I'm sure I have had that before, but just to kind of like blend it all in and create shadows under here just to hide the chins. You know, we gotta be out here catfishing people. Shut up. Okay, and now I am just going to finish with this blush. It is an old one from Ipsy. Oh, it's Pacifica Coconut Blush, and the lid broke off, and I like it. It's just a light blush for me. I'm coming in with this Morphe E34 fluffy brush. Honestly, anything can do. I like this because it's fluffy and also kind of angled, and I tapping it off. And I take it and I go over where I did my bronzer, and I just like smile to get the apples of my cheeks. And then bring it up over where I did the bronzer. And I don't know if you can even see that in real life, but it just kind of makes me feel put more together. And then, to really spice it up, I'm going to take it and put it in the center of my forehead, just because, like, to give a sun-kissed kind of look. I mean, it is April in Pittsburgh and snowing, so we'll just fake it, right? Looking on camera, this doesn't look blended, but it is in real life. It's fine. So now we're going to take a Q-tip and clean up the mess we made with our eyes. And by we, I mean me. I keep putting it in my mouth. I'm not licking it yet. We'll decide if I need to lick it. And honestly, sometimes you could just leave the mascara and be like, yes, this is intentional. This is smoky eye. But I got nothing but time today, baby. It's Saturday, so we're wiping it off. And when you wipe, if you do darker in the outer corner, wipe the mascara to the darker corner. Don't wipe it to the lighter inner corner because it does kind of blend. Okay, so now I'm just going to go in and finish it off with this Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist from ColourPop. I've been doing some trial and error with different setting sprays. Like I said, my skin has just been weird. Probably because I don't eat well, but like sometimes, you know what I mean, when you spray a setting spray and you can feel it like sticking to your face and you're like, there's hairspray in this. There's something in this. I really like this though. A, because it smells good. Well, first of all, hold it 6 feet away from your face. It smells so good. And it's really just like refreshing. I don't know if it is a better setting spray than any of the others. I don't know if I believe in setting sprays necessarily, but for some reason my face doesn't feel finished without it. So that's that. I think I'm going to go in with an eyeliner on the bottom, just on the bottom, my waterline. We'll see if I regret this. And I just go from the outer corner only to like the center of my pupil. I don't want to bring it in all the way because it makes my eyes look smaller. And sometimes, I don't always do this, but when I do, I usually regret it. Just kidding. You're just pushing this into the waterline and like digging in your eyeball. For me, I have to be careful. Ooh, girl, it's fine. We'll fix it. Because I feel like it just accentuates the bags under my eyes, which is why I also sometimes I won't do like mascara under my eyes or a shadow liner. But it could just be me being critical. So I do that after I spray my face because this is like a crayon eyeliner, and I think that the setting spray, for me at least, it can melt it and like make it run. So that is pretty much the finished look. I think I'm gonna take some highlighter and just pop it on my inner corners. I haven't been putting it on my cheekbones like I said before because my cheekbones have just been getting dry and it shows all the texture on my face. I'm trying to get my skin under control before I get back to that. This is Prosecco Pop by Becca. And I'm just gonna take a flat shader and I'm gonna spray it. Well, I would spray it with a little bit of water. However, I have my iced coffee here and there's a lot of condensation on it. Oh my God, I'm gonna get yelled at for doing this. I can tell already. And I'm gonna get the brush wet with the condensation. I regret putting this on camera. It's fine. We're fine. And I'm just tapping it into the concealer, into the highlighter. I like the way that it looks whenever it's wet. I think it gives it like a little bit of a brighter look and not as dry. I'm just doing that on the inner corner and like blending it in a little bit. Maybe a little under the brow bone. See, this is what happens with highlighter. You're like, oh, it looks pretty good. Let me just put it everywhere. And before you know it, you're a damn disco ball. Okay, enough. Put the brush down. So this is the finished look. I just topped it off with some Vaseline. I don't usually wear a lip color. I open everything with my mouth, so the lipstick kind of tends to smear. Also, fun fact, I grew up with a brother, and those of you that have siblings know that they choose to make fun of you for the silliest things, myself included. And one of those was for having freckles on my lip line. And he'd always be like, you have a mustache. And I'm like, no, I don't. Like, they're freckles. But now every time I put lip color on, I'm like, oh, it's accentuating my mustache. That's not happening. That's not a real thing. But whatever. You can do whatever you want to do. Put lip color on. Whatever you feel like doing, this is for fun. I also hear when people are like, you have lipstick on. Like, you have so much makeup on. Who are you dressed up for? Myself. Like, I'm dressed up for myself. Mind your business. So I hope that you guys dress up for yourself. Do something nice for yourself. Please take care of yourself. I hope you guys are doing well. And I hope to see you soon. I miss you. I love you. Have fun.